Yesterday, we all saw the hoopla of the Southern Heritage Classic, and we all looked at the message boards and social media sites from all types of people commenting about this situation. Jackson State, Tennessee State agreed to play one game. But apparently, a lot of people believe Jackson State was punked, even though they agreed to play one game instead of a whole decade. How does that make sense? I'll chime in. Today's show is brought to you by Booked and Busy Talent. Booked and Busy Talent is a full talent agency that doesn't chase deals, they create deals. Clients receive counsel from strategic management consultants who have worked at Google for former President Barack Obama and in the healthcare industry. Their cross-industry business knowledge has helped them secure groundbreaking deals for their clients, such as first-team All-SEC gymnast Darian Goburn, the undisputed queen of the four, and Jackson State University two-sport human highlight reel Malachi Wyman. What are you waiting for? Get booked and busy today by contacting them at bookedandbusytalent@gmail.com to set up a future client consultation to get your NIL deals rolling. What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. And man, the response off one news, one game, one game caused this response. But again, this is a new era. This is the Clout era. And anything that's simplistic news will make headlines. Everybody's trying to make a story out of it. Much ado about nothing. Jackson State, Tennessee State is going to play their last game for the Southern Heritage Classic. It is what it is, one game. When I heard the news, this is before I heard it was one game. You look at the message boards and you look at social media, they made it look like Jackson State had to do another decade. So they were acting like Jackson State was getting punked. But when I looked at the details, I had to sit back and said, this? If this is called being punked, I don't know what it is. I just read something from Roland Martin. Shout out to him. And I think he has more knowledge than most people. I'm not saying he's always right, but hey, when it comes to investigating and getting that factual energy, he does a solid job. And he said, and I quote, "So I see a lot of discussion about Jackson State pulling out of the annual Southern Heritage Classic in Memphis versus Tennessee State. Here is why I believe JSU made the move. Money." Let me say it again. Money. We've been saying that on the show for the longest. All their moves is money generated for the black dollar and nobody else. Independence. I don't know why people don't understand that. But let me read it again. Here is why JSU made the move. Money. And he also said, and it's a smart move by JSU. Allow me to explain. He goes on to say, by JSU traveling to Memphis to play, they are giving up a home game. That is true. It's a game that could be played in Jackson, Mississippi, with Deion Sanders bringing in excitement back. JSU can put 50,000 fans in their own stadium and make far more money than they did in the Classic. Shout out to Coach Simmons, Tamale, the Sports Network, Cut Day, SWAC Buzz, Hoop Jargon, and many more. They've been saying this. Well, Roland Martin just said it. They've been saying this, but nobody wants to listen. They want to go off of narratives. I get it. You don't like Jackson State. You don't like that Jackson State's getting the popularity and the fanfare. We get it. And he continues by saying, the promoter of the Southern Heritage Classic says he has paid out $6 million to each school over the last 31 years. That comes to an average of $193,548 a year. Folks, JSU can generate more than that, and the money stays in Jackson, Mississippi, not Memphis. Continues again. Look at my alma mater, Texas A&M. They have been playing Arkansas at Cowboy Stadium in Dallas. The A&M AD wants the game to be a home and home. Why? To make more money. Look, I get Tennessee State being hot, but Jackson State should be doing this. HBCUs must maximize their football revenue. Repeat it for the people in the back. HBCUs must maximize their football revenue. Trust me. More HBCUs are going to reconsider the classic model. When they factor in all those expenses going on the road and staying home, this will change. If schools can bring in money directly, why have a middleman? And lastly, he says, these classic promoters better wake up or pay up. This will happen again. Well. And shout out to Roland Martin, Houston native. Shout out to H-Town. You know how we do. You know how we do. He's a H-Town homie. Again, this is about business. And it's funny, people who don't even support Jackson State, don't even like Jackson State, why are you worried about what Jackson State's doing financially for the betterment of their university? Why do you even care? For those who are listening, you go on these message boards and it makes you think that they're former Jackson State alum, which they're not. It's the weirdest thing. A school's trying to do what's best for their own university. How is that a loss? Jackson State's not losing no money. And it's a win-win for both parties. See, Tennessee State has a chance to restructure their schedule for 2023. Jackson State, same thing. And they get to play this last matchup. So my question is to those who have a problem with it, I better expect 100K people in the stands. Since the Southern Heritage Classic means that much to you guys. They made it seem like the Southern Heritage Classic was the BCS at the time, BCS or College Football National Championship. It's that important. I'm convinced it's as important as the national championship game. So I better expect 100K folks in the stands since you care about the Southern Heritage Classic. I've never heard the Southern Heritage Classic brought up this year until this situation happened. Until I heard that Jackson State at one point decided not to do it anymore. And it became a problem. You know why it became a problem? Because Jackson State realized the power they had. Remember that video I made when I talked about the Traditionalists versus Coach Prime? You all are now seeing. That's what it looks like. The Traditionalists cannot stand him. They don't want him at Jackson State at all. They don't want a man who does for self and has a ruling class mentality. They despise it. They want these, what you call, pickaninny type of people to be running these HBCUs that are controlled by certain alumni, not all. And with Coach Prime, you can't tell him what to do. He's a self-made man. Just look at the press clippings. Look at the media. Look at what they try to do to slander his name. It's really pathetic, but it's not surprising. When you're successful, you have to have haters. So when you get to the mountaintop, they'll be looking up to you when it's all said and done. But at the end of the day, the SWAC is at its best right now from a recruiting standpoint, from generating income to fan support. It's all been upgraded. And instead of celebrating that, we're nitpicking a game that people barely talked about until now, just to make fun. Whoop-de-doo. So, in closing, Jackson State doesn't lose money. They gain more money. They have more flexibility with their schedules for not only next year, but the rest of the decade. And they have a new model of generating wealth within their university. That sounds like a win-win to me. But you know what's even crazier? Tennessee State left the HBCU conference. They're in a PWI conference. And folks were rooting for them more than the HBCU school that stuck it out. Wow. But hey, it is what it is. This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Y'all have a blessed day, man. I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm out.